Ding dong, a lang, a lang, a lang. Boom, ba-do, ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-day. Oh,
I'm thinking about doing the
if I could take you up in paradise.
Vauxhall dinghy first, but I really want to get this one going. I've been waiting 20 years for one of these, so we're going to start disassembly. And the first thing we got to do are these knobs. This one is in one piece, and you just gently pry it off. Now this one is a vernier. It's two pieces. That one's going to take a little bit more, so I'm going to have to gently pry that one off and then pry this one off. Then we get into the chassis. Now I took a flat-bladed screw and just gently pried that up. You want to be gentle because shaft is plastic. If it sounds like a bunch of screaming and yelling is here, I have my nieces over and they're being wilder than Katie did, so just don't mind that. And then you just gently move around and pry this up. I should be able to now just lift it up with my fingers. Yep, there she goes. And you can see how shiny it used to be and how nasty it looks now. In fact, you know what? I bet this thing, I know it better. It looks like it probably had some sort of brass plating on it. Either that or it's worn off. One of the two. Let me see on the bottom. Doesn't tell me anything. Well, either way, those will still polish up pretty nicely. So now, we've got these two out. It's now a matter of getting into the chassis. Alright, now if I remember correctly, two screws take this off. There might be one or two up here. Yes, as a matter of fact there are. They're the ones up here. So it's a matter of undoing them. I'll do this one live. There's one. Kind of hard to do this one-handed. Had a girlfriend tell me that once. Then we'll do this. Number three. Jesus, those kids sound just wilder than animals. And they're girls, too. Okay. You'd think I had a pack of boys in here. Alas, they are female. I am the only male of the species in this house. Even the dog is female. And we'll do the last one here. And, of course, this is going to be what I call the pecker screw. Spur cut, hard to get to, won't cooperate. It's wanting to go. There she goes. Okay, and there it is. Now, in theory, you got to make sure anytime you start working on the chassis, close the tuning capacitor. The last thing you want to do is bend the plates. So in theory, all I should have to do is lift up and the whole chassis should come out. Yep, there she goes. Starting to come out. There we go. Here we are. Look at all the electrolytic capacitors that are in here. So, now we have a bare cabinet. That's going to be the next thing I start working on. Alright, here is our bare chassis. Oh, I have a date. It's upside down, but it is August 31st, 1955. My dad and my mom were both 21 when this radio was made. Alright, so what we have to do is we're going to take the handle off. Now I've already cleaned and treated the handle. I'm going to show you what I used on it. I'm very pleased with it. It was just about as grimy as this, and it cleaned up and it's very touchable now. But what we have to do is undo these little brass knurled nuts. Very quick to do. Just unscrew them. And of course they drop between my legs, as that's just Murphy working for you. and they all go blop, 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 and disappear somewhere. We'll now remove the other knurled nut. There we go. Handle is free. Now, the other thing we need to remove are the brass pointers. They're nothing more than just, they look like Philister head screws, and they're held in by nuts. So in theory, all we have to do, in fact, let me see something here. Scrape out the schmutz that might be in there. Yep, they come loose. So let me see if I can get the screw loose. Yes, I can. Here it comes. I feel it. There we go. And of course the screw's not going to cooperate. Ah, it's unscrewing itself. Almost there. There we go. Brass screw, ready to be polished up and shined up. And now I'll just go and do the other one, and then we'll see about getting these items off. Alright, well these items here are fairly easy to get off. Let me see if I can get my light on. There we go. It's just simply a Phillips head screw. So let me go grab a Phillips head screwdriver from the stash here. I see one up here. Let me grab that. I'm going to have to use my other hand. Let's see if I can adjust this. I'll see if I can do this one-handed. I tend to doubt it, but oh, no, it's very easy to do. Coming very loose here. Has a spacer. Now, in theory, that should just pop right out. So I'll pop that out in a minute, and then we'll do the other side. That was easy. Just went in with the back of the Phillips and pushed these out. They're knurled, as you can see. That's to hold them into the wood. Now the only thing I want to remove now is this, which is that expanded metal grill, and then there's also the little Raytheon logo, and it's held in place by two of those speed nuts. So going to be very careful and just gently pull up these staples so I can get this out, and then at that point I'm going to leave the feet on. At this point this will be ready for cleaning. Little prying of those mini speed nuts, slight pressure. And there's one. And there's two. And shit pickle. The Raytheon logo just broke. God damn it. Well, I'll have to solder that back on or something, or probably just glue it back on. I knew this was too good to be true. But there's a little verdigris in here, so it was just bound to happen. But I had to get in there so I can clean that up and also polish this thing up, because it's in sore need. So I'll have to pull out the pin and get it out. But at this point, that's all I can remove. I'm going to leave those little screws because those are the backing for the plate back there to hold it in the back cover. And this thing is now ready for cleaning. Now, to clean that leather covering very well, I wanted something that was going to clean it without doing any damage or anything along those lines, removing the finish, that sort of thing, because it is about it's getting close to 60 years old. So I found these guys. They're called the chemical guys. They have this leather cleaner, and then they also have this conditioner. And the idea is you soak this, I believe you make this, I think you have to make it a 6-to-1 ratio, and it will penetrate the pores of the leather and give that a good cleaning. I saw one of their videos. I was very impressed with it. So without further ado, we're going to start on this bad boy. Okay, since the spray bottle is full concentrate, I decided what I was going to do instead was I'd just soak a pan of water with it, and I'll go on ahead and start cleaning the leather. I'm going to start on this top because you can see there's just a lot of stuff on it. I've got hot water because, as you know, hot water is more famous for cleaning stuff off, so we'll go on ahead and start lightly cleaning. Okay, so far so good. Maybe needs just a little more concentration though. As dirty as it is, it doesn't seem to be pulling up as much. Oh yes it is, actually it is. I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, it's pulling up stuff alright. Very lightly. So we'll give this a little more time here. And already with one pass, we're starting to see some differences. Alright. Yep, there's a bunch of schmutz right there. So I'm going to continue cleaning this, and then I'm going to show you the after shots. Well, it took a lot of scrubbing, don't mind telling you, but that is about as clean as I can get. There's a few spots here and there that I've just scrubbed, and I've scrubbed and I've scrubbed, and I just can't get off anymore. But it's clean along the edges, it's clean along here. It did take up a little bit of the finish, which I expected because it is red, but it was just plain grubby, and it took quite a bit to get it off, but it's now ready for conditioning. And to do that, it's going to be this bottle here. If I can get it here. There we go. Alright, got a little bit on this little microfiber towel, and I'm just going to start right here. I'm going to see what happens here. That's quite a bit actually. But well, the idea is I'm going to go over this whole set, just lightly cover the whole thing. Would not be surprised if I still pull stuff up, dirt and otherwise. This is 60 years old, pushing 60. Oh my, I'm already seeing the finish looking a hell of a lot nicer. Yeah, that's looking quite nice. Let's see. Yeah, I'd say it's pulling up a little more dirt, so I'm going to keep doing this. Give this thing a good rub down, and I'll show you the results as soon as I get done with it. But I'm very pleased with these products. Very pleased with the way these guys have formulated this. Something to be gentle, but get all the dirt and grime out of it. See, there's still a little bit. That's probably still a little red dye, which I can't help that. That's going to happen. But I want to set this old, but I want it to look good. Now, I admit I did cheat a little. Used a little bit of crimson shoe polish. But this is the result. Now it's got a nice shine to it, an even texture. This did help, but the shoe polish made it go all the way through. Got a little overzealous here, so these are a little bit pink. But now the whole cabinet just looks gorgeous at this point. And to give you an idea of what dirty and clean is all about, see if I can show that. There you go. This is still untreated. It's not been cleaned. This is clean. It's got a crimson color. This is almost burgundy. Now I'm going to tell you right now, the guys are probably going to cringe when they hear me say this, but yes, the dye did pull up a little bit, but bear in mind, this is for cars mostly. This is for automotive finishes, this stuff. And what I'm doing isn't for a radio, but I do want to tell them and let you know, here's what it looked like before. That's what it looks like after. This is what it should look like, and what it probably did look like in 1955. A nice bright crimson. So I am very happy with these products. They're out of California. I recommend them. Chemical Guys, they're called. Did a very good job in cleaning this leather. This stuff was really nasty. I'd recommend it for doing Zenith leather cases, because I know those things are, some of them are just some of the nastiest, filthiest things you've ever seen. I believe it'll clean this, clean stuff like this very nicely. Just look at the shine. Look at the shine on this thing now. It didn't have that before. And that that chemical treatment, the leather treatment, did all the I can't even speak. It did all the work, and I'm very happy with it. So, let me pull this up. This is what it looks like now. Very sharp. Very clean. Cannot wait to get the rest of this put together. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give this a good cleaning. I don't know if you can see it. You can barely see it. The outer edges here are kind of a light gold. This is really dark gold. This is probably just from dirt. So I'm just going to take some Windex and just knock all that off, give it a good cleaning, and then I should be able to put that back in. Alright, since we had as much luck with the cabinet as we did, now I'm going to take this filthy back cover and get it washed off. This needs to get scrubbed with just a little bit of Windex, and it'll bring up the shine again. It was bent inward. I went ahead and pushed it back up again, so now it's profile. Let's see if I can show that it's sticking out like it should. And I cannot take this out because there's like a paper, now leatherette paper cardboard cover, or not cardboard, but it's a leatherette material. I really don't want to do anything with that if I can't help it, because I just don't want to damage it, and it's in good enough shape. And then what I'll do is I'll give it the same treatment, trying to be very careful along here. I'd like to keep that if I can, and give this a good scrub down, possibly bring that up, because I know that's brass, and we'll give this thing a whirl. And here's the final product, all cleaned up. I tried cleaning up the knobs a little more as best as I could. However, there's a lot of pitting on them, so there's not much I could do about that. The little pointers, those Philister head screws, are brass. They cleaned up easily. Went ahead and cleaned up the Raytheon logo, put a dab of glue there, so this will hold in place because that post broke off. And here on the sides, knobs have been all cleaned up. I left this part tarnished because I really didn't want to mess with that, with this leather handle and the condition that it's in. It's in real good shape. I figure if I start messing around with that, that's going to cause nothing but trouble. Weaken the leather. I don't need that compromised. But here's the back. It's all cleaned up. Went ahead and polished up the brass here. This has been cleaned up I should say. Pushed out because it was all bent in. Was even able to save the top grade cowhide gold stamp in place. It's been shoe polished, all cleaned up. As I say again, I recommend these guys. They did a hell of a job on cleaning this set up, aside from a few stains that won't come out. 60 plus years of dirt and grime gone away, and it's used. There's no doubt about that, but you got to admit, it looks a hell of a lot better than it did when I first started. And you just look at that top. It's all set to go. So, the next thing to do at this point is to work on the chassis. That's going to involve recapping both the electrolytics and some paper capacitors, which I'm going to attempt to restuff.